my smelly socks are getting mended. I'm sitting here, as I always do, kind of entertaining myself. I hope there's plenty of persons that actually pay attention to some of the things that I say. I take my time when it comes to talking, because I'm not one of these people that have, like, what I call caca of the mouth. You know, they're all into getting all fueled up and angry, and they use that anger to talk fast and beat up other people, beat up on persons and say, oh, we're in this thing and I can block what you say and make you think what I think by pitting you and spitting at you and giving you a bunch of, crapola. It's what I call running on fumes. Like a jet pilot that's actually stressed and stretched his plane way too far. He can't make his landing right. Somebody is just out to get it out for somebody. Somebody who walks up to you and just says, something crazy or stupid without being informed or have nothing to say. And it's not like, that's the one thing. Alright, that's where my thought splits. And here's something that, once my thought splits, there's a good point. Not if you like somebody, but if there's somebody there that you can speak with and you know that you can hold a conversation, you don't have to force them to have a conversation. Sometimes it's good to just talk until you get something that's built up into a conversation. Now, whether or not that person is holding something back, or whether or not that person just doesn't want to talk at that time, you can't really exercise the way to say, hey, I don't really feel like talking, or won't listen. That's another thing. I'm guilty of that sometimes, not listening. Then again, I won't listen to somebody who has nothing but the same loopity crapola, what I call the apps, and that's like, like talking in a gigantic loop and living the same thing over again and again until it's a script. No, I'm not a like a theater person where it's like, oh, there's a script and I say the same things over and over again so that I can find out what somebody else is thinking, or so I can be in this big, conspiritual type thing where the imaginary spotlight, gets put on somebody else, and then everybody tries to, give them the big faux blow. They're gonna just put stress on them. It's what I call, if you've paid attention in any of my other blogs, what I call the show. Now, the show is something that is for either persons who are hiding their own selves, or for persons that are trying to produce other persons to be in this giant show. Whether or not it gets related towards development of people, whether or not it gets focused towards running somebody out of town, talking about religion, talking about what's bothering them at that time, or just in general trying to find out what's on somebody's mind so that they can aggravate the hell out of them. Being somebody who participates in that is just a horrible thing. Now, on the other hand, I'd rather talk about nothing when it comes to somebody that I like and say, hey, we share certain interests and we could be friends. Now, whether that other person or that girl has something to say back to me or myself is one thing. Now, the other thing is that whole show that I keep talking about and mentioning is really like a psychoanalytical practice that many people get caught up in, otherwise known as the apps, APS, these ghost-like scripts that people go through. And when I say scripts, I don't mean like pills. I mean like actual speaking of words and things like that. Like when your boss comes to you and says, "Oh, you're not doing a good job. You're not doing a good job." The next thing, and I'll expose it. The next thing that you're supposed to think is, "Oh, well, I'm not doing a good job. Well, what I should do is do more." Or what I should do is ask, "Oh, please, 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 what can I do so I don't screw up? Oh, please, please," this whole I will tell you what to do and you will do as I say. That's for people who are going through their 7 years or 6 years of enslavement to become part of something, whereas it all ends up the same if you really just do your job, and once you get your job finished and you serve yourself and you find out yourself what you need, you don't really need somebody behind you screaming at you and playing the antagonist. And I would say there's a good 80% of the world itself that actually live that way. I mean, hey, it's fine and it's acceptable, I guess. But does it help you develop friendships? No, I don't think so. And I think that there's a giant blocker when it comes down to actually being able to walk up to somebody and say, "Hey, how are you doing?" Blah blah blah. Some people think that's just, "Oh, well, are you gonna put in an hour towards, this, that, or the other?" And someone in the background saying, "Oh, well, that's the guy and I left." That's, pardon my French, but that's just stupid. Okay, it's just stupid. I've lived it, I've experienced it, and I refuse to live that way. Trust me, members of my family, and I'm talking parents included, live like that just because if they haven't, they decided to sit on the couch and smoke dope instead of doing what they can. Now, I'm not saying they do it now, okay? They don't. I'm just saying, in the past, there were persons that said, "I'm not going to do a damn thing for you, mother." And that's just how it is. I'm not going to do nothing. My life is complicated as it is. Well, everybody's life is complicated. I'm the guy at work that doesn't have the damn car. I'm the guy at work that has, sacrificed one half, I swear, one half of my life here. My life expectancy is 60 years. I'm 30 years old now. One half of my life has been devoted to completing everything that anybody else wanted to do. So I think it's, me time. When it comes down to it, if somebody wants to develop a relationship, don't rely on what I had referred to as the apps as a relationship. That's called avoiding something.